Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the new video. I'm the Casual Racing Gamer, and today we are going back to Daytona Road Course. And you know what? I'm enjoying a race here. I'm enjoying the longer race. I might be doing daily race here a little more often going forward. It's the first week I've ever done it. I've been staying away from it. I've been mostly concentrating on race B, sometimes race A if it's cool. But this is my first week at race C. There was no strategy as far as pit stops, as far as tire changes, and anything like that. Fuel. So I figured it was a first time that was a good time to hop into it. But now I'm actually enjoying it. I might be doing them a little more often. So in this race here, we are starting a P6, and this was a really good race. And this is why, because it's such a long race, it gives you a good time to establish a good racing, just a good racing feeling, good laps. You have a lot of time where you can go back and forth with other drivers. You don't need to feel so aggressive up front because it's a longer race. And I think this was a really fun race. So here we go. We are gonna hop into it. We're gonna see how this race went. We are starting in a P6. So again, my initial thoughts when starting out this race is take lap one easy, establish a good pace, see what drivers are like around you. And then, when you want to make your moves, but you don't need to feel pressure to make moves that are a little too aggressive, because you do have time to make passes. Not when you don't always need to feel like in a rush to make a pass. So here we are we're going to try to just establish a good run here. Lap one, turn one. You're always nervous about the cars behind you. So you need to be kind of careful. You want to take lap one cautiously, but not too cautious, because then you get guys ramming you from behind who are overdriving turn one. So just something to take into consideration. So here we are. Another thing is you always want to kind of try not to lose the pack in front of you. You don't want to drive too close to them lap one, because you always then risk ramming someone from behind. And again, your cold tires are not the best to run fast and be aggressive. So I usually stay back a little bit, but I always want to stay a little close to that front pack, because I want them in my reach. I want them to be there. If they make a mistake, I want to be there to take advantage of it. So that's something I'm always thinking about on lap one, is don't let the front pack, if you're towards, mid-pack to front, don't let those guys get away. Even if you're towards the back, don't let that pack in front of you get away. Kind of stay with them. You don't need to feel aggressively to take places in the front, but just don't let them get away from you. You want to kind of just hang in there with them. Stay a little bit back. You want those guys to battle it. If those guys are really close, you don't want to get in their mix-up. So you just want to be there. You just want to be there to take advantage of their mistakes. You also want to always be conscious of what's going on behind you, because you don't want guys behind you. You don't want guys behind you too close. So your thing is also, you're going to want to pull away as much as you possibly can from those guys that are behind you, but stay with the guys in front of you. And so it's like a give and take battle here. So right here you can see I have P7 is like right on my tail. He's driving me. He's trying to, he's kind of giving me a push here. So that's good. We can catch the front pack as long as he's willing to work with me. That's a good thing. This is when you have long straightaways like this, and try working with other drivers, and hopefully they'll work with you to help you catch up with other drivers and that front pack, because it's not always about a pass that you need to make right there. It's just about staying with those guys in the front. So here we go, turn one. We're still running P6. The bat at P5, again, right in front of us, keeping them right in our sight. We don't want to really lose them. We don't want to lose that front pack. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all within our reach. If mistakes are made, we will be there to take advantage of it. And that, again, that is something that is always going through my mind. Don't let those guys get away from you if you don't have to, but also don't overdrive it. Don't overdrive. Don't take yourself out. Don't run bad turns because you're trying to drive too aggressive and over what your actual limit is. Driving a car to a limit, the actual car's limit, and driving the car to your actual limit is two different things. Every driver is going to be able to drive that car to a different limit. Hence everyone running different lap times, right? So always know what your limit is. Know what your good turns are. Know where you can make your moves that you'll be able to gain better time, where you can also run a little bit more cautious on turns that you might not be so good at. So it's kind of like you need to know where your good spots and your bad spots are, and where you can make up time in case you need to lose time somewhere else. So here we are going into, you know, I know in NASCAR they call this like the bus stop here. So I don't know with these group 4 cars racing here, are they still the bus stop or is it chicane? I don't know. But with NASCAR running at Daytona, I know they call it like the bus stop. So we're still running, we're in P6 here. Front pack, we're still seeing them. It's still in our sight. I will like to start trying to pull a little bit closer here. We're coming to the end of lap 2. Going to be on lap 3 of 10. So, you know, right now if they made a mistake or someone overdrove something, I'm not close enough to take advantage or make a move. But those guys are running really close to each other right there. So they're in kind of a risk and a danger of taking each other out there. But I want to be close enough where I can then take a place there if I can possibly get it there. And you see like all those guys battling really close, which is actually fun to really watch for me as I'm driving. Because as you can see, cars behind me, I have nice distance from the cars behind me. It's kind of the same from the front to the back of me, and I'm actually gaining a little bit on the cars in front of me. So that's what I want to do. I want to keep getting closer to the cars in front, hopefully pull it back from the cars behind. And I have a whole group of cars behind me who are going to want to take my place. So I'm going to try to stay to those cars in front of me the best that I possibly can. And I'm gaining here. I'm running good. I'm gaining here. And just to mention, obviously I'm racing this in PSVR2. The only way I race GT7 and other sim racing games on a PSVR2 on PS5, and I use my Quest 2 and Rift S when I'm racing on PC like iRacing and things like that. So again, still hanging in there, running a good race. I'm comfortable right now just staying in this distance with the guys in front of me. Lap 3 of 10. There's a lot of laps left here. We got 7.5 laps here. So we are good. Not 7.5. What do we have? Six and a half laps here. Six and a half. We're gonna come up on lap 4 and have 6 laps left after that. My math when I'm racing is not the best, in case you can't tell. So we're gonna pull up here. And right now coming into lap, we're gonna finish lap. We're gonna come to lap 4 or 10. We're gonna have 6 laps left. I want to start now. I'm thinking I need to be a little aggressive if I want to finish a little bit better where I am. Now is where I want to start moving. Now is where my tires are warmed up. I can start getting a little more aggressive and see where I can get on that throttle a little more earlier coming out of turns without kind of losing the car. But again, always trying to make sure I don't go past my limit of where I can drive this car. But you can see those guys really pushing up there. 3 and 4 pushing up there, knocking 4 and 5 a little back. So we have a little some changing going on. And now I'm like, these guys are going to be pushing. These guys are going to be battling. They're like right there. 1, 2, you know, what is it? 2, 3, 4, and 5, right on each other's tail. And here it is. Take advantage. One guy off to this side. We have 2, 3, 4 there. I'm making moves here. I'm making moves on their mistakes. This is what I mean by saying you want to be close enough to take advantage of the mistake, but you don't want to be too far. You don't want to be too close to get in the mess. You just want to be able to take advantage of the mess. And that was a perfect example of taking advantage of the mess. So those guys, you know, went into that turn, they bumped, they pushed, not on purpose. I think it was just good aggressive driving. Going into that turn, it didn't look like anyone did anything purposely to knock someone out. It was just close driving. And that's what happens. You know, expect that. When you're racing someone close side by side or like right, like front and back to each other, you just have to expect those things. It's not necessarily someone's bumping you or punting you on purpose. It's just aggressive driving. So taking over P3, I'm in a good place right now in P3. So you know, this is a spot I'm going to want to hold. But you can see P4 is right behind me. So I know I'm going to have to be battling here for P3. No one's going to give me this spot. And we're going to battle pretty close here. He's going to try to pull up to my outside. Couldn't overtake. Try to pull back. Still trying to overtake me here. Get into my slipstream. He's trying to get around me, but he just couldn't do it. I'm thinking, you know, I'm racing now with the car behind me. I'm seeing him. I know he's going to want my spot. I'm also thinking, can I catch P2? Going in, here we go. Going into turn 1 there. We're still running really pretty close with P4. He is on my bumper right now, and I am fully aware of it. Fully aware. So I'm going on the inside. Hopefully, you know, I'm thinking he's going to hopefully be smart, pull up a little bit, not just ram me. And you know, this is just good hard racing. Again, when people race hard, you expect bumping, expect pushing. If you're going side by side, you know, not everyone is going to run an inside line perfect. If you're going to take the outside, they think they're slowing up enough, but their car might pull out a little too far. So you have to go in that expecting that, and you have to go in there thinking, are you going to want to take that risk? So if you're pulling up on someone going into a turn and you're on the outside, you know, do you want to pull back, fall behind, or do you want to risk it and go on the outside and hope that they slow down enough where they can hug the inside line without going into you? That's a risk that you have to take. That's part of being a defensive driver as well as an offensive driver. So you need to balance those two things and not always think, oh, I'm going to take the outside. This guy's definitely just going to take the inside because he knows I'm on the outside. I never go in with that assumption. I go in with, do I want to take the risk here and run the outside and hope that he's going to take the inside? But, you know, mistakes happen, and sometimes they think they're going to be able to hug that inside line, but take it a little too fast, and they'll come up on you and they'll push you out. It's not on purpose. Those are things you just can't get upset about. We all do it. We've all been there. We've all done that. We've been on the bad end of it. We've been on the good end of it. You know, we've been bumping people by accident, and we get bumped by accident. So, you know, the things that bother me is just someone ramming you, like, you know, that, like, if you're running side by side on a straight and they just come down into you and run you off the track, you know, something like that, you obviously know is purposely done. And that might, you know, that stuff like that annoys you. But, you know, you need to get over that stuff anyway. But that's on purpose. So I'm always okay with, you know, hard racing and good racing and expect bumping and pushing. And it's just something, if you're going to race hard, expect it. So, you know, guys, don't get upset when that stuff happens, because you know that you've rammed people off trying to come into a turn too hard. Someone's taking the outside and you actually run to the outside and push them out. We've all been on both sides. So that's why I'm saying you need to be understanding of both places. So here we're running awesome, you know, still P3, but you can see all the cars behind me. You see P4 and P5 really close behind me. And then a little bit back from them, you know, there's some more cars. But my thing is, if P4 and P5 start battling, that'll be good for me, because I'll be able to pull away if those guys start battling for a place and a little bit of bumping and shoving. As you can see, a little bit of pushback there, as you can see. But, you know, that's a good thing for me. That's a good thing for me. The more those guys battle behind, and I'm always watching that in my mirror, because that's going to tell me how aggressive I need to drive. To me, P2 right now, I feel is running. P1 and P2 are running really consistent, and they're ahead of me. So I know I'm going to have a problem catching them. No matter how aggressive, if I run too aggressive, I'm just gonna ruin my own day. So I'm not going to run too aggressive to catch P2, because I don't think I'm catching him at this point. Lap 6 of 10. But so I'm right now just thinking, can I hold on to P3? Looking behind me, always seeing, you know, how far P4 is from me, and can I hold on to the spot? Run good, consistent laps. If P1 and P2 are still staying in that same distance of sight, then I know I'm still running consistently with them, and I'm doing pretty well for what I'm doing. That we're all running good, nice, consistent laps. P4. We have a new P4 now behind us, so consciously knowing he's behind me. Those guys again battling back and forth. P4 and P5 have been battling, so they're going to gain on me. And I'm thinking, you know, just take these turns really good, get on the throttle as soon as I possibly can, and just keep thinking, pull ahead. Every little tenth of a second, you know, is going to give me an advantage. P2 again, still far away at it. You know, he's in sight, and it looks like it's really easy. Like, he's right there, but it's still going to be really hard to catch those guys. Lap 7 to 10. P4 again, still distance where I'm not in a safe place. I'm not in a safe place, but I'm looking for a podium finish. I want P3. P2 ran off a little bit wide there, and if I was closer, I might have been able to take a better advantage of it. But you know, I just wasn't close enough, and I wasn't willing to risk over driving and ruining my day to be closer. Because right now I feel like I'm pretty much running to my limit. I'm running to my comfortable limit of running good lap times and just trying to fend off anyone taking my P3 away. And again, my P3 spot is not safe at this point. I still don't feel safe at this point. Any little mistake, either overdriving a turn or misshift or something like that, it puts my position at risk. So I'm just concentrating on just running good, consistent laps that fit my lap limit, and maybe a little under the limit driving to the limit always puts you at risk of overrunning turns. If you brake late, you're always at the risk of overrunning that turn. If you brake early, then you're going to have to be worrying about someone hitting you from behind, or if they're going to just take your spot. So you really got to nail in your turns on where you're comfortable at. So right now, again, P4, back at it again, coming to the outside. Is he going to fall behind me, or is he going to try to overtake me? He's coming to the outside. I'm going to pull on the inside. I know he was coming, but I'm able to overtake him, and not overtake him. I'm able to keep my spot there. But I was conscious of him where he was. I am looking in my mirror in this race quite often, knowing how close these guys are to me. Like they're on my bumper. And I know a lot of people say drive looking forward and not back, but I think it's important to look back too, because you need to know how hard or how not hard that you need to drive. You also need to know in your mirror, here you see P4 and P5 battling. P5 overtaking P4 right there. So we have a new P4, and these guys are battling a lot behind me, and that's a good thing for me. These guys battling is a good thing for me. And so I'm again looking in your mirror. I feel is important because it tells you how hard or not hard you have to drive. If they're a half a lap, back, or they're all the way back, then you don't need to push that hard and not risk things. If they're on your tail or they're catching you and you see them like inching up to you, then you might need to push it a little bit. But again, stay within your limit. Don't if it's a matter of giving up a spot, that might be worth giving up a spot over ruining your day. So here we are going into the bus stop here, still holding on to P3, P4, P5, very, very close to me. And those guys are running side by side, and that's a mistake. They actually should be lining up behind each other and pushing. We all should be pushing, but if those two guys push each other, that would definitely help them get by me. But instead of them working together, they're working against each other. P4 trying to take the outside here. We are running side by side. There's a little push down. Give me a little push. I don't know if that was done purposely, but he did give me a little push there. There we go, coming into one. I am gonna again try to hug the inside. I'm able to pull out, get on that throttle faster than he does, so able to hold on to my spot. And again, I don't know if he ran me on purpose. A lot of times you think you're running a straight line, and then you don't realize your car's drifting down. So I don't know if it was done purposely, but it could just be racing incident. I always assume the best. But I obviously in the race, I'm like, yo, why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing me, man? But I'm gonna think maybe not on purpose, but who knows? But there you can see you just saw 4 and 5 bumping each other there. Again, those guys are battling. There's 4, 5, 6, P7. They're all on my tail. P8 not far behind. So this is a really hard spot right now to hold on to. We are going lap 9 at 10. We're gonna have one more lap after this, and I am just really trying to run my best laps I possibly can. P1 and 2 are sailing away from me. They're kind of like lined up with each other. They're just pulling away. So they're actually, the way they're lined up there is they're able to push further if they're going to work together and not against each other. But the cars behind me, they're working against each other. So here we go, coming in to the bus stop, to the chicane, to the whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be coming up to lap 10 of 10. And can I hold on to P3? That is the question. Can I hold on to P3? I know P4, P5, P6, they're all going to want my spot. They're going to want it. They're hungry for it. And I have a nice distance here. I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with my distance between P4 and myself. And I don't want to get overly aggressive, but I want to stay a little fast here. I don't want to slow down too much. And you can see them, they're pulling in close here. Coming out of P1. Still feeling a little safe, but not too safe. See how we handle this turn. See where they end up behind me if we're all still in the same distance. It's all about getting on that throttle fast. The faster you can get on that throttle coming out of that turn, the better off you'll be. Even and the good thing is you can brake a little early if they're not too close to you. The thing with braking a little early if people are close to you is you then risk of them ramming you from behind, and not necessarily on purpose. just because of where you're braking and they're not braking at the same spot. But you can, you know, if you leave enough distance, you can brake wherever you want and just get on that throttle as early as possible. So coming to the straight before the bus stop. Let's see how it goes here. I know I have to really nail this turn here. I know I can't overrun it. I can't overdrive it. I just need to be perfect here to hold on to my P3. P3 very important. P3 is a great finish, right? I'm not even concerned about winning this race, but I think a P3 in this race is a good finish. It's a good day. I'm happy with it. So let's see how I take it here. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Happy with the way I took it. Still nice distance from P4, and right now coming to the straight, I'm feeling pretty good. P2 is actually not that far ahead of me right now. A little more racing maybe could have caught up, but coming down to it, we are running the straight, coming in at P3. That's a good day right there. That's a good day. I was happy. I was happy with my finish. Lap times were pretty consistent. 156, 56, 56, 57, 56, a 58, 57, back to a 56 and a 56. Obviously, first lap 205. First lap's always going to be slower than any other lap. We started P6. We were able to take advantage of some mistakes because we stayed with that front pack. And again, that's the biggest thing, staying with that front pack. Don't let them get away. Take advantage of it when you can. You want to be there to be able to take advantage of mistakes that they make. Don't be too far back. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and subscribe, click the like button, and we'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Peace.